We've had a lot of people stop by and tell us. One guy said that this was the coolest organized chaos he's ever experienced.
Hi, my name is Jessie Doyle. I am with Hellbent Holler. We are a paranormal and cryptid field investigation team out of the Southern Appalachian region. We're here at the Tennessee Wildman and Cryptid Con, where we just gave a presentation on the Southern Sasquatch. Right now, Joe and I have a documentary out on Small Town Monsters YouTube channel. It's called The Monster on Morris Mountain, Bigfoot in the Uwaris, where we do a field investigation into the legend of Sasquatch in the Uwari National Forest.
And he mentioned that it's very similar to the privy system that's on the Appalachian Trail, where these decomposing pine logs would accelerate the decomposition of organic material. And he said if you wanted to hide deer kills and keep your presence known, this would be a perfect place to do it.
Welcome to another edition of Community Insight. Join us as we travel Middle Tennessee, uncovering history and experiencing the adventure of unique stories and events coming to you inside your community.
My name is Randy Hutchings. I'm the director of the Tennessee Wildman and Cryptid Con. We've had a great day out here. We've had over 800 attendants come through during the day. We've had vendors that have left already early because they sold out of all of their products, their cryptid-based products. They said that they've had a better day today than they've had anywhere else this year. So that made us really, really happy.
And Randy, you have had estimation, and I've already heard there's several people out of state that's coming.
Oh yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
We've had two families come from Massachusetts. We've had a couple of families come from New Jersey. We've had a podcaster come down from Missouri, Kansas. We've got guys from Kansas. We've got Georgia, Florida. They're coming from all over.
And what has been the biggest thing this year? You've done this several years. What's been the highlight this year?
The highlight for me has been watching our Bigfoot costume walk around and all the little kids. Like earlier before we let somebody go out in it, there was these little kids skulking about, and you could see them go looking down the aisles. And one of them, we watched them say, one of them was like, "Where's Bigfoot, Daddy?" And so we went and got the person in the suit. They came out here and it just made their day. Like you could see it made their day, and that just made our day.
Randy, I know this is something that you've been working on for years. For it to get this big, and I'm thankful that it's taken off here.
Yeah,
also
in Warren County. Yeah.
What would you say to folks that don't know the sort of the background history of how it got started? What would you tell them now that you're seeing it successful?
I think it's obviously successful because the county got behind it. We'd love to thank you guys, all you people locally that came by out and saw us. We've already got ideas to make it bigger next year. We've had a lot of people stop by and tell us. One guy said that this was the coolest organized chaos he's ever experienced. That was a cool little thing. So.
Tell us about the Q&A. We're going to try to feature some of that. What happens during the Q&A?
During the Q&A is when all of our guest speakers sit down, and it's basically a 45-minute long session where you can ask whatever questions come to your mind to the speakers, whether it's on whatever subject, Bigfoot, UFOs, aliens, hauntings, all that stuff.
Hi, my name is Jessie Doyle. I am with Hellbent Holler. We are a paranormal and cryptid field investigation team out of the Southern Appalachian region. We're here at the Tennessee Wildman and Cryptid Con, where we just gave a presentation on the Southern Sasquatch. Right now, Joe and I have a documentary out on Small Town Monsters YouTube channel. It's called The Monster on Morris Mountain, Bigfoot in the Uwaris, where we we do a field investigation into the legend of Sasquatch in the Uwharrie National Forest. You can check that out on YouTube at Small Town Monsters channel, or you can check out all of my other videos on YouTube at Hellbent Holler.
Hi there, my name is Blair Martin with Kiss My Squatch Designs. I'm here in McMinnville at the big convention for Bigfoot. It's been a fabulous day. We've had a lot of fun stuff going on. Big old Bigfoot walking around and taking pictures with everybody, and the vendors are doing great, and it's been a wonderful time. I love being here every year.
Tell us what you got.
I make handmade stuffed Bigfoot creatures. They're collectibles, and each one is one of a kind. They're all completely hand done, and they are available at my Facebook page at Kiss My Squatch Designs.
And do you build a lot of stuff like this?
I do as often as I can. They do take me quite a while to make, so I do one, maybe 2 shows a year, and this is my favorite.
Hello, my name is Scufflemoss Treeman, and I'm a forest troll from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And today I had CDs and I had t-shirts. And I was actually on America's Got Talent as well. So I just wanted to come meet people and show them that cryptids could be nice.
That's right, that's right. So looks like here you do singing, stand-up, all kinds of different stuff. People can find you. How can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram, on Facebook. You can just search me on the internet. Scufflemoss Treeman, that's my name.
Hello, my name is David Eller. I'm a paranormal researcher. I hunt monsters. I've done this for over 30 years. I have an organization called Pursue, the Paranormal Unit for the Research and Study of Unexplained Events. My partner and I travel all over the U.S. and we investigate monsters, not just Bigfoot type creatures, but also any type of cryptid, water beasts, skinwalkers, anything like that, dogmen. And we have had adventures. The monsters of your childhood are real. There are things out there that can rip your head off and jam it down your bloody gullet. You don't want to meet some of these things, but my partner and I have. Her name is Janice Nolan, and I don't want to leave her out, but I have recently written a book that just got published by Premium Press America. This is about an incident I investigated for over a year, and it's east of Nashville, 40 miles, so these creatures are out there. I've had many adventures here. This site is now considered a holy grail of Bigfoot sites because of all of the adventures that I had there, the structures, the interactions. So if you want to see these things, you need to get off the couch and out into the woods, because they are there. We've seen them, we've heard them, we've had interactions with them. So if you want to see them, you've got to get out there.
David, you get called. Also, you have a place where people can contact you in case they would like some of your help investigating stuff like that? Yes.
If you go to pursueparanormal.com, that is our website. You can also call me if you want. Would it be okay if I give out a number? Yes. My number is 615-627-6184. Again, my name is David Eller, so just leave a message if I can't answer. My email is, pursue3221@gmail.com. So try that. But yeah, any monsters you see, any interactions you want to report, give us a call.
There is a whole lot of unexplained. People talk about the event happening. They might have called the cops. The cops said that there's no more that we can do. That's where you guys.
That's where we take over. Yeah. We are the A-Team. We are the X-Files that deal with things nobody else wants to deal with, and we tend to go in quietly. Sometimes we have to go in a little bit more aggressively, but if you have something you want to report, call me, give me a call, and we'll try to take care of it, no matter what it is. Maybe it's a ghost, maybe it's an alien report, maybe it's Bigfoot or dogmen or skinwalkers, whatever, but that's where we come in. So don't be afraid to call us. We are not going to make fun of you. We've had the experiences, so don't be afraid to call.
My name is Carly Priest. I am the owner of Carly's Confections. I'm 17 years old and I live here locally in McMinnville, Tennessee. I've been doing this since I was about 12 years old. Started doing some of these events, and I do orders for people locally and a little bit out of town. And this is what we got today.
And tell me how you got started. What got you into this?
So I was in a homeschool co-op, and they had a class that they called Cookie Wars. And it was just kind of showing you how to make cookies. And then eventually I did another class about how to decorate cupcakes and cakes. And I really just started from there and learned a lot of things on my own with a lot of help from Google and YouTube.
I got you. Well, I had a sample. It was excellent. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Samples work.
Yes.
Tell us how people can get a hold of you.
So
you've got a Venmo account and stuff
Yes.
like that. How can they find you?
So I have got a Facebook page. It's just under Carly's Confections. And then we've got a phone number attached to it that you can message or call and place orders. And then we're here at some events locally.
All right, my name's Dale Denton. I'm known as the Tennessee Bigfoot Man. I've been called that for quite a few years, basically because all my encounters are my experiences. This is my third year here in a row. This is our third annual conference here at the Tennessee Wildman Conference, and I've been fortunate to be a speaker here those past 3 years with Randy Hutchins, who puts the show on. And it's a great conference. I go to a lot of conferences across the country, and it's definitely my favorite one.
Good turnout. What do you?
Good turnout was very good. We'd like to see a few more people, and the vendors were great. All the people that are here were real informative and had real good questions, and everybody seemed to have a good time. And that's the main thing we have it for.
Where can people find some of your material?
My material is, you can find me on Bigfoot Believers and Other Creatures. We have, I believe, the largest private Facebook group on Facebook. That's Bigfoot Believers and Other Creatures. I also have my own personal podcast with Ron Moorhead, who most people know Ron Moorhead. Our show is called Two Real Cryptid Legends, and it's we do live, we do out in the field, we do out in areas where we've seen creatures out there, and I've experienced a lot of creatures over my lifetime, and I'm sure I'm going to experience quite a few more.
Hi, my name is Wendy Robinson, and I'm the owner of Paranormal Pops. And we make chocolate shaped like aliens, Bigfoot, most cryptids. But my business was founded upon my friend's, her name is Angelia Shear, and this is her. And she was a very well-loved and known researcher in the field. And she wrote a book called UFO Encounters, How High Strange Events Transform Human Perception. She was amazing. And everything I do is to keep her memory alive and for her. A glioblastoma brain cancer took her life in 2021. So even today, we got 4 or 5 people that came by, as we do always, and it's wonderful. One man didn't know she passed and knew her. So just sharing those moments with people and then learning and teaching them about her if they didn't know her is what it's all about for us. So we do donations in her name. To different charities, Children's Hospital, things like that. So that's kind of what we're about. It's all about her for us. So
where are you guys out of?
We're out of Sevierville, Tennessee. Angelia was actually the 2019 MUFON Investigator of the Year. So and she really was something. So if you want to Google her, you can learn YouTube videos. She has a bunch of stuff on there she's done, but that is really our sole reason for doing this.
Now, where can people find more information about y'all again?
We have a website called paranormalpops.com. We're Instagram at Paranormal Pops and Facebook Paranormal Pops. But yeah, we also love to always support our veterans. So you'll see all of our pops in the logos, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, those we donate and give out to all of our vets. So very important to us that we do that in memory of my dad. So that's what we do. We love it.
I've investigated them inside the city limits of Chicago. I've actually found them in Chicago. Found them in 2 places on Staten Island, New York. Believe it or not. There's a ship graveyard off the west side of Staten Island. There's some living in some of those old ships, and there were some hanging around a golf course right in the middle of Staten Island. I've found them in Birmingham, smaller towns like Troy, Alabama, Farmington, New Mexico. I mean, they don't have any compunction at all about going inside of a town as long as they've got like a creek bed or something like that and follow our culvert system. They'll come in, raid dumpsters, and he's back out. There was a guy I talked to about probably 12 years ago right here in Minville, in the southwest part of town, and there's a creek that comes through their neighborhood, and they were coming up and down that creek into their neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say that there are for sure in the Smoky Mountains. I like I said, I researched a lot of Scott Carpenter's areas, and like I always tell people, they hide in the laurels. If you've ever been in the Smokies, you know the mountain laurels are everywhere. And it's excellent cover for these things to hide. Much less wildlife management areas, they're there, especially around Knoxville, particularly forks of the river. That's actually where I had an experience. I'm a Bigfoot, the dog in there. But they're quite literally, they're everywhere, and they know how to stay hidden. And Scott and the hitchhiker, you know, effect that goes along with this, you know, when Scott Carpenter was being followed home by these things, they were coming to his house right underneath his porch, you know, taking his dog food and all kinds of different things. So they're everywhere, and Tennessee is the perfect habitat for them to be thrive.
Nothing to say about Bigfoot.
Yeah, this isn't Tennessee specific. It's just about the Bigfoot phenomenon. The greatest Bigfoot writer ever, John Green, in Sasquatch Tapes and Wonders. If you haven't read it, you go back and buy it. It's an incredible book. And John Green had a theory about, you know, we looked at maps of sightings. This was back in the 70s. The highest density of sightings was where there was like a certain amount of rainfall per year. And I forget the amount of inches, and I think it was like 26 inches or more a year, something like that. What those areas, if you still look on a map, that holds pretty good water for basic areas and around the country. So if you look at black bears are indigenous from near the Arctic and Alaska all the way down into Mexico, in the high desert to wherever. And in terms of a known animal in North America, I would think black bear would be the closest in probably diet and habitat needs. And if you look at densities of black bears in certain areas, it kind of lines up with John Green's theory on the Sasquatch thing. So I think they're probably someone that's distributed in a very wide area, but certainly areas where there's like concentrations based on available cover, food, and stuff like that. But anyway, that just was something I was thinking about this. We're talking about these different, there may be sightings here, but maybe this area of Tennessee has a bunch because everything's right and that kind of stuff. So anyway.
Several years ago, I did a long-term study looking at pretty hard at all the states I had researched in and talking to the people in the states that I haven't been in. And I came up with, I believe, a pretty damn good estimate of their population in the United States. I think there's about 120,000 of them in the U.S., and that includes Alaska.
Any other questions? You.
Aside from the theory of like energy manipulation not being able to have clear pictures and all that, I would love to hear everybody say, well, why didn't we really see or heard of like remains being found? And some people think that they buried their dead. Some people, again, the government involved, they know when they died, they what's everybody's theory on that, why nothing's been found?
So that's what bodies smell.
Actually, I mean, we just did a big investigation in the Oregon National Forest. Just got released from the Small Town Monsters channel. While we were up there, we ran into a couple who just recognized us, stopped, and they both had different experiences in the area we were at where we met them. The gentleman that was with them said that they had been exploring the area and they had found a pile of dead deer that appeared to have their necks broken. Parts of the body had been taken as a, for food. They'd been predated on. And then they had been left in a pile. When we went back to investigate the area, we had our local guy, a guy by the name of MK, he's at our table right now. He's a real experienced ultralight hiker. He's done the Appalachian Trail before. One of the things he noticed was we were seeing pine logs that were pushed down like a cross-thatch pattern in this area. And he mentioned that it was very similar to the privy system that's on the Appalachian Trail, where these decomposing pine logs would accelerate the decomposition of organic material. And he said if you wanted to hide deer kills and keep your presence known, this would be a perfect place to do it. Dispose of the bodies here, put some pine on top of it, it'll break it down much faster. Over the course of that conversation, I asked the question, well, wouldn't that be a perfect way to dispose of your own bodies at that point? If there's obviously whatever we're dealing with out here, there's a conscious decision to remain hidden. They're trying to remain hidden. Otherwise, you'd have one in a cave, you'd have one in a zoo, you'd have one for study. There's a conscious decision to remain hidden. And part of that has got to be what do we do with the dead? So when we were having that conversation, I'm going, anybody walking through this area right now, if you didn't have this witness's story going, that there were dead deer here piled up and now there's no sign of them whatsoever, you'd walk right past them. And you'd walk past dozens of those things in a normal forest walk without ever looking at them twice. So a lot of people don't realize how fast, especially in the southern Appalachians, that bodies decompose. Especially given the small rodent population in the area, they're not the bones for calcium. A body can decompose and just completely disappear far faster than what a lot of people think about. Now, if you add any sort of like cultural practices in there, if there is a practice made to when one of these creatures is nearing the end of its life, and the rest of its group, whatever you want to call it, clan, family group, whatever, if there's a preparation for that, there's a million ways you can run it. Just the cave systems in this area. Most of the caves are unexplored. We've got a good friend who was an avid caver, and he'll tell you they scratch the surface as far as a lot of these cave systems go. So a lot of people always get kind of wrapped up on where's the body, why can't we find one? And I'm going, to be honest with you, especially given the terrain in the southern Appalachians, I'd be surprised that we found one. There's obviously a level of intelligence here. You're dealing with something that has the ability to assess a situation, figure out the best course of action, or remain hidden. Yeah, I would be shocked if we did find one. I'm not surprised by the lack of it. I'd be completely astounded if we did find one.
That's a great point, by the way. Kind of on the same track of that is the fact. So I believe they're a physical creature, and I don't know when they have abilities. There's a physical nature to them. There's a physical nature to them, and there's some kind of primate, whether it's a hominid, primate, whatever, some kind of primate realm. Primates are long-lived beings. So if you have a long-lived being with a relatively low population density, for example, he had a theory, how many Bigfoot was your theory? 120,000 Bigfoot in North America or America? In America, including Alaska. So there's one county in Texas that has 140,000 whitetails in one county, Mason County, Texas. And you rarely find deer remains. All right? So if you have an animal that's long-lived, that has fairly low population densities, the chance of ever finding a body are very low in regions like, I never knew about the decomposing part of the pine and all that.
He just spouted that off. He's an experienced hiker, and that's something we never thought about. But it takes somebody coming from a different perspective, with a different background, looking at what we're looking at, going, oh, I know what this looks like, and bringing their experience into it and seeing that. And that was a completely novel idea. We had never heard anything anywhere near that. It just suddenly clicked that made total sense and possibility.
Very natural. You stand there, and once you looked at it, you realize these pine trees didn't fall. They had been moved and put in here, and he goes, we do this on a much smaller nature for privies on the Appalachian Trail. And I'm going, well, when it decomposes a body, and he goes, extremely quickly. He goes, this is all microbes, this is all, he goes, this would This would take a body down to next to nothing. And whatever's left as far as like skeletal remains, what's going to be buried? That much decomposing woods. Nobody's running around the woods with a shovel, picking random spots to dig in.
In that particular place as well, it was deep. I mean, we're talking 5 or 6 feet deep that we could get into. You could take a hiking pole and shove it through the decomposed pine remains, and it was just going feet down in. So there's no telling how long that area had been a site of this, it seems like this privy system, this decomposition site.
And that's intriguing. Another part of this is we put a deer, a roadkill deer in front of the game camera in East Texas. We came back 24 hours later and there was part of the rib cage left. Vultures had found it and coyotes dragged parts and scattered things all over the place. So it ripped real quickly. The other thing is, maybe people have found rotting bodies. Most people aren't like us that want to discover Bigfoot. So there's something dead and stinky over there, but that's a bear, that's a hog or whatever. And maybe they walk right past the discovery of the lifetime. I thought about it. Why can't I find that? Anyway, any other questions?
Yes, you are. Even as you know, we've been so scrutinized and so tested, how is it that you found a possible that no one else I've ever heard brought that up? Of course, I talked to you this morning about when Russell Ford going into the business instead of the original. So I thought I was questioning your life sources you showed on that. But on the more question, you showed a possibility to same way with the freeze. No one's ever said anything about it, so I'm very intrigued about it. How did you come about it?
It is mostly done by through stabilization. That if you hold that film steady, any kind of movement of anything on it will be easier to see. But you can't concentrate on more than 2 things at the same time. Your brain prioritizes. So if it's shaky and shaking around, then you're gonna pick up one major motion. But if you're able to stabilize it and make it hold it steady, then anything, even moving a little bit, you can see it.
Well, those who have been under our here stabilize the wisdom, those who shake the outdoors. So they look at those steady into long enough, and then just Patterson say there's a possibility to your arm.
Well, it depends on how they stabilize it. If they do it by hand, they should be able to find it too. But if they do it by a computer, let the computer do it, like lately the AI, some of these that they have out there look so great, but analytically they're no value because the film is running at 16 frames per second and it reproduced in 60. So that's 40-something frames that the computer just made up. And it went to the internet. He says, well, there's a law next to it. It must be a law. And he draws in a law.
So once again, we got the grass and milk.
It's got what?